So I was honestly hesitating talking about this topic. However, it's time. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Trish Talk Tuesdays. Thank y'all so much for coming back by. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that, I'm going to be honest, I've been kind of avoiding this topic just a little bit. Only because I honestly feel like whenever I talk to you guys, I want to make sure I'm talking from not only experience, but something that I've actually gone through and grown through, or I'm growing through it enough to be able to say, okay, I have a handle on it, and I believe that these tips will actually help you. But before we get into the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't be shy. I would surely appreciate it. And also, if you're not following me on my Instagram, I think you should go ahead and do that. I always update you guys on my Instagram first of any videos I'm getting ready to put out, what time they'll be posted, all that stuff. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this topic. Heartbreak is the absolute worst. First, there's the realization that the relationship has to end. It's the moving forward and then trusting that you did the right thing without any regret, without no second guessing yourself. Like, this happened because it had to happen. You don't want to wallow in self-pity. You don't want to get drunk and drunk dial or drunk text him, because that will lead to nowhere but in a circle. You have to get real with yourself and first say, I'm making the best decision. This is what we have to do, and this is what I'm not going to do if I want to continue to move forward. What you don't want to do is cherish your hurt feelings. You're crying, you're sad, you're rerunning all the thoughts in your mind of what happened, how it started, how do we get here. You don't want to cherish that space, because that space can quickly turn into depression, it can turn into anxiety, it can turn into ongoing stress. It can become you, and you don't want to give off that kind of energy. Now, I'm not saying that you should avoid your grief. You should not avoid your grief. You should face your grief head on. You know, whatever you're feeling, if you're sad, you feel like crying, if you're one of those people who don't cry very easily, but you know you need to cry it out, turn on some slow music, you know, some Tony Braxton. Break my heart. And, you know, whoever you listen to whenever you're going through a bad breakup, like, for real. These are things that people tell you to avoid, like, don't listen to sad, sorry music, but I don't agree with that. I'm one of those type of people, I don't cry really easily, so sometimes I have to listen to something to trigger the tears to flow, and sometimes the sad music helps it. When the breakup first starts, if you need to turn on some slow music or whatever you got to do to get those emotions, those tears to flowing, do that. Like, face your grief head on. Don't be embarrassed to do that. This is someone that you've cared about for quite some time. This is someone that you build history with, someone that you build memories with. So of course, when the breakup strikes and you have to get used to not talking to this person anymore, not seeing this person anymore, of course there's a period of emptiness and silence and I miss you. You're grieving someone who's still very much alive, but they're no longer a part of your life as they were every day. You got used to them, you got familiar with them. They were like home to you. Do not ignore your grief. Cry, do what you gotta do. Then what you don't want to do is indulge in your guilt. Don't want to continue to sit in like, what did I do? What happened? What could I have done better? What could we have done better? Was there anything else we didn't try? Don't work up so much guilt, making yourself feel guilty, because it'll be super hard for you to move on. You're not going to want to move on because you're going to continue to think about all these things that you could have done to save the relationship that probably could not be saved. Accept the fact that it happened. Accept the fact that the relationship came to an end, and that it might just be time to go ahead and move completely on. Don't assign blame. This is a huge one. Do not blame your ex solely for the relationship coming to an end. Yeah, we all have our faults, and maybe one might have contributed a little bit more to the breakup than the other one. The longer you think about that and you try to rationalize what happened, you will never let go. You will continue to hold on to that relationship. You will drive yourself crazy. You won't be able to think straight. You can't sleep. You can't eat because you're too busy pointing the finger at your ex and saying it's their fault why you're in this. It's their fault why you feel the way you do. It's their fault that your feelings are completely hurt. It's not always just your ex's fault. Sometimes it really is you, and you kind of have to look at, okay, these are the things that I needed. These are the things that she needed. we didn't have this all together and we had to go ahead and call it quits. Instead of posting blame, just say, you know, we saw things differently. We were in two different spaces in our lives. We kind of grew apart from each other. This is why I feel like it did not work. Do not idolize a relationship that had problems. I think this is the hardest step into moving forward. The fun things is not why the relationship ended. The problems are why the relationship ended. What you don't want to do is sit back thinking about the good times, because when you think about the good times, believe me, when you think about the good times, you forget about all the problems and all the reasons why it did not work out and you had to let go, and you end up stuck in that same cycle, in the same circle. You find yourself talking again, falling in love again, and forgetting all the reasons why you had to let go. So now that you're out of the relationship, just keep going. Do not look back. Don't dwell on the good times. You guys, I'm only talking to y'all from experience and through growing through things myself. Do not dwell on the good times, because it'll get you restuck in the same circle. Don't do it. Don't be a drama queen. Don't be overly dramatic. Don't think that the world is coming to an end. Don't think that you'll never have a man. It'll never work out. You'll never be in a happy relationship. You'll never get to meet whoever that love of your life is, the one, and thinking that your life serves no purpose. Please slow up, like slow down, like don't take it there. This is a time when you really need to focus on activities and things that you're interested in. So for instance, before you met your ex, say that you loved reading books and then you guys got together and reading books is something that you stopped doing. Pick that back up again. Find a good book to read. Find a book that you've read before that you really liked, you want to reread it. If you're an artist and you like art, get back into your art. Whatever it is that brings you enjoyment outside of your ex, use it somewhat as a distraction in the beginning until you get used to that thing where you no longer desire what was before, because you're getting right back into yourself. You're getting back into things that you actually enjoyed before the relationship, before the bad end. Find out whatever that is and try to get back into that activity. So the relationship didn't work out. You want to use the end of the relationship as a tool of what not to do in your next relationship. You don't want to repeat your mistakes. So say for instance, you did not communicate very well in your past relationship. You know, whether it was feelings that you had that you did not convey to your ex. Try to brush up on those things and don't put that into your next relationship, because you will carry it in your next relationship. All relationships start out the same. It's all lovey-dovey. It's all butterflies. You can't wait to talk to them. You dream about them. You think about them all day, every day. And then as soon as you kind of get into the meat of the relationship is when you really see how people are, if you can kind of put up with them day to day. Everybody comes with something, but it's what you're willing to put up with and what you consider to be healthy and non-toxic. And don't give yourself a hard time about it. It takes time to brush up on a few things that could have caused the end to a relationship once you've recognized it. So by all means, do not try to rush into another relationship once you've just got out of one, because whatever it was that you contributed to it, you have to kind of figure out, okay, how am I going to deal with this? I don't want to carry this into my next relationship. I really need to brush up on this part of me. You can go into the next relationship with a clear mind, not carrying the baggage and things that you used to do in your previous relationship. Please, please, please do not become self-destructive. What you don't want to do is drown yourself in alcohol. Make sure that you find healthier ways to get through a breakup. Of course, like we said, you know, there's going to be that beginning part of grief. However, drown in your sorrows, thinking of bad things to do to yourself or whatever. Please avoid being self-destructive. Avoid blaming yourself, saying, oh, well, I guess I'm not a good person. Oh, I guess I'll never have a good relationship. Well, if you put it out there, it might just happen. And if you feel like you can't get over the breakup alone and you might need someone to talk to that's been through a bad breakup before that can give you healthier ways to get through a breakup, by all means, reach out to them and figure out healthier ways to get through a breakup. I've heard some people say that the quickest way to get over one is to get under another one. No. Cool up for a second, chill out, rethink some things through, get yourself back right, and find better ways to deal with your emotions. Do not isolate yourself. This is a big one, and I'm only talking from experience. The more that you isolate yourself, that's where depression creeps in. That's where bad negative thoughts creep in. And before you know it, you're really in deep, deep mess because of this person that you can't get over. Don't do that. Try to surround yourself with people who love you, you know, your family, which is usually first and foremost, or best friends. You don't want to surround yourself with people that are going to feed into your negative emotions, but that are actually going to bring out the best in you. Not trying to tell you to go ahead and start dating again. I personally don't think it's a good idea to start dating immediately after a relationship. However, once you do first get out of a relationship, chill out. Do what you can to find ways to be at peace with it and to get over and get through that situation before you get yourself back into another one. Well, that's all we got for today. Thank y'all so much for coming back by to watch another episode of Trish Talk Tuesdays, episode 5. And I will see you guys next time right here on Trish Talk Tuesdays. Have a great week. Bye.